Okay, everybody, hi. Come on in and join me, Aaron Taylor Young, for our 52-week memory verse challenge. We are infusing God's word into our lives because we want Him there. God is our source of abundance, as this verse is going to tell us. So here, let me turn this around. See me. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I am Aaron Taylor Young, and I am an author. I have a podcast that I do that's called Right from the Deep. I do that with Karen Ball. She's my podcast partner. She's also in the writing industry, as I am. She's been an editor and an agent for a long, long time, so she's a great person to have on that. Our podcast is called Right from the Deep. You can find that at writefromthedeep.com. That's WRITE. So go there if you're a creative, you're a writer. Our podcast is about ministering to your heart. This is a very, very hard industry. The arts are hard on our spirit, and we want to encourage you guys. Oh, hi, John. We want to encourage you guys to join with us, not to run and escape the deep places, but to find your stories there. So that's the podcast, writefromthedeep.com. You can find me, Aaron Taylor Young, at Right from the Deep, or also at my website, aarontayloryoung.com. I'm a humor writer, so if you like humor and you are interested in that kind of encouragement, go there, because I tell fun stories. Because fun things happen to me. Actually, hard things happen to me, but you guys can laugh at my pain, and that's what makes it fun. So let's get back to what we're doing with our 52-week memory. So let me flip this around. This is our verse for this week. It's John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. John 10:10. These are the words of Jesus, and He is telling us who He is and what He has come to do. And this week, this month, in fact, we're talking about believing God's word. We talked in January about praying it. This month, I want to focus on believing God's word. And this is a really important verse to believe, that God is our source of abundance and everything else is not. And for that, I want to tell you a story, because I love stories. So here's Aaron sitting in church, and I was visiting with my husband and their family, and we were visiting at a small little church, and they didn't have a children's church, so at least not that week. And so there's this little girl in the service. She's maybe 2 or 3, and she is standing on her big sister's lap. I think it was her big sister. It could have been her mom, but she was pretty young, so I think maybe her big sister. And it was so cute, because the little girl is like bored, and so she's kind of standing there trying to balance, and she's thrusting herself every now and again like forward and like doing this, I'm falling, and the big sister would catch her, and so this was their little game during the sermon, no less, but it was mostly quiet, and it was entertaining the little girl. Well, so then all of a sudden the little boy, who seems to be standing nearby, right next to them, I guess he was sitting next to them, he must have been maybe in kindergarten, and he's watching this, and then he turns to the big sister and he's like, "This time don't catch her." And now, the big sister starts laughing, and I start laughing, because the sermon is talking about the fallen nature of man, okay? It's a perfect description, because this little boy's like, "Oh, it would be really fun this year, do a face plant," So the big sister's like, "Yeah, right, now I'm going to keep catching her." So she does, the little girl falls a couple more times, the big sister catches her, and then, now the little girl, she's noticed, it might have been her brother, she's noticed this guy next to her, and she's like, "I'm going to just tip that way, because, he's watching and we're entertained, and, there's this distraction." So she kind of falls a little bit that way, and the big sister catches her again. Then, like, this happens 2 more times, and then the little boy goes to the big sister, "I'll catch her." And again, I'm laughing, because right, he's going to catch her. The very little boy who just said, "This time don't catch her. I'll catch her." Sure, that's going to happen. But the little girl, she is full of trust. So she kind of like first sort of tips that way, the big sister catches her, and then the little girl's like, no, she's totally tempted now by this boy. She throws herself sideways, okay? Throws herself at the little boy, and you hear this thud, and then the little girl's like, "I fell," and she is totally shocked, okay? Totally shocked. The reason why this is cracking me up is to follow the progression. It's like, "This time don't catch her. I'll catch her." Thud. I fell. Okay. This is hysterical progression, but this mirrors exactly what we do. What we are that little girl. We leave the safety of God's abundance and the things that God is providing for us when we're tempted and lured sideways, and we thrust ourselves sideways into the arms of someone who is already predetermined that they're going to watch us fail. They want to harm us. The sad part about this verse, and let me pull it up. The sad fact here is that the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. And we are still so tempted by something shiny, something fun, something that someone says. But it's not what God has for us. It's not the abundant life that God has for us. So what I want us to do this week, as we're focusing on believing, is to believe that God is the source of our abundance. Even when we can't see it, even when we can't feel it, then it comes time to trust, because his abundance, like we talked about on Monday, his abundance is all about the fruit of the Spirit and him. God, big. And that's what we need to trust. Let's do the verse one more time again. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. That's all for today. See you guys next week.